How to deadlift properly. In today's video, I'm gonna give you some simple form tips to follow when you're doing both the conventional and the sumo deadlift using both a barbell and a kettlebell. I've been a personal trainer for over 15 years and I've seen all of the form mistakes, and I wanna make sure that you aren't making these simple, basic mistakes. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. I'm gonna break down why we should be doing the deadlift, the amazing benefits of performing deadlifts in a regular strength training routine. I'm also gonna break down the most common form mistakes I see and how to make sure you don't make those mistakes when you're performing your deadlifts. And right at the end of this video, I've got a special bonus for you for watching this video, or all of my subscribers. If you are looking to get stronger in the gym, you wanna check out that special bonus right at the end of the video. Okay, and before we dive into all things deadlifts, my absolute favorite, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed. I've got new videos coming to you guys every single week to help you on your fitness and fat loss journey. So hit that notification bell and you'll get a notification whenever I release a new video. My name's Michelle Roots, kinesiologist, personal trainer, nutrition coach, fitness and fat loss motivation specialist, and my channel here is all about helping you get the most out of your workouts through good nutrition and proper strength training. And of course, if you find any of this information helpful, make sure you give this video a like and leave any questions in the comments below. I'm always happy to help. Okay, first things first, the benefits of deadlifts. Why do I love deadlifts so much? Why do all of my clients perform deadlifts on a regular basis? A lot of people consider them a lower body exercise, which yes, they are. I consider them an entire body exercise. Because when you're performing a deadlift properly with good form, you are using every single muscle in your body. You're using your arms, your forearms, and hands, so your grip strength, to hold the bar in proper position. Your shoulders and traps hold the weight and hold it stable. Your back and core muscles are working hard to contract, to stabilize and protect the spine during your lift. And then your entire posterior chain, your glutes, your hamstrings are all working to pull the weight up off the floor. So there you go, literally a full body exercise. Ladies, if you are looking to get a plumper booty, which I find that's a common request now amongst most of my clients, deadlifts should be in your strength training at least 1 to 2 times a week. Now, touching more on the benefits of the deadlift, it is a compound lift. So I've done a video a few weeks ago about the best compound lifts for fat loss. You can check it out right here. I'll link that video in the description below if you were looking to know the best compound lifts that you should be adding into your strength training programs, and deadlifts were definitely on the list. But the fact that I just told you a deadlift is working more than one muscle group, almost every single muscle in your body, it's also what I call sneaky cardio. So when you are performing either a heavier deadlift for less reps or a lighter deadlift for more reps, your heart rate is going to go up. So you are also performing a cardiovascular type exercise. Sure, this does not compare to running or sprinting, but you are working your heart because your muscles and your body are working so hard to pull that weight off the floor. So again, burning more calories and you're getting more bang for your buck from that one exercise. And the last and most important reason why a deadlift is such an amazing exercise, it is so functional. You go to the grocery store, you bend over, pick up your groceries, you bend over, you pick up your kid. We are always performing a similar movement. And once you know how to properly engage your core muscles and activate your glutes, you will use this movement in everyday life on a regular basis to not only feel great, but prevent back injury. I personally know, I think about it every time I bend over to pick up one of my kids. The thought always goes through my mind, how do people do this who don't have core strength or don't have proper form when performing a deadlift? I would blow out my back 10 times a day. So this is another reason why you should be performing deadlift, and more importantly, you should learn the proper form, which I'm gonna tell you in just 2 seconds. Okay, let's dive right in. How to perform a deadlift properly. Here are my top form tips. And as I'm explaining the form tips, I'm gonna tell you the most common mistakes I see alongside that specific form tip. So I'm gonna break down the conventional deadlift first with both the barbell and the kettlebell, and then we'll break down the sumo deadlift after. There are so many other barbell and kettlebell deadlift variations, but I'm going today with just the conventional and the sumo. But if there's any other deadlifts or other compound exercises you want form tutorials for, leave them in the comments below and I'm happy to make a video on that too. Okay, conventional deadlift. We're gonna step up to the barbell with our feet about hip width apart. And if you are wearing shoes with laces, you wanna make sure the laces are about underneath where the barbell is. And that brings us to a form tip and also a common mistake I see. Not really a mistake, I guess, but it's something that you definitely wanna pay attention to. You can see in this video, I am lifting in my socks. You will see a lot of people on social media wearing Converse or flat shoes. So a lot of people wear running type shoes or shoes with a lot of cushioning in the heel to the gym, which is totally fine. But when you're performing a deadlift, It's better to be either in a flat shoe or like I am here in my sock feet. The reason for that is you are better able to feel your feet into the ground and better foot positioning. You can also really drive your heels into the ground as you're lifting the weight up, much better than if you have a bunch of padding in your shoe. Something to think about if you are looking to lift heavier and you want to increase your deadlift strength and how much weight you're lifting. Think about finding a flat shoe like a Converse, Chuck Taylor, or something with not a lot of padding in the heel area, or just kick off your shoes when you're about to deadlift and lift in your socks. So after our feet are under the barbell, you're going to put your thumbs on the outside of your thigh and slide them down towards the bar. That will give you a good idea of hand placement and where they should be on the barbell. Next, you wanna bend your knees down and pull that bar in so your shins are almost touching with the barbell. Another common form mistake I see is people do not pull the bar close to them right before they lift. So they're almost reaching forward. And if the barbell is too far away from you, you're gonna end up compensating using the wrong muscles. So again, right before you lift, make sure you are pulling that barbell in and it's almost touching your shins. So next, let's talk about your neck and spine positioning. You wanna make sure you have a neutral spine. So we don't wanna have an arch in our lower back and we don't want our shoulders to be rounded forward. You also don't wanna be flexing your neck and looking straight ahead. My best advice is look 2 to 3 meters in front of you to the floor. That will put your neck in a neutral position and help you keep your back flat. As you can see here, my back is nice and flat. I have a line from my bum all the way up to my neck. There's no arch in my lower back and my shoulders aren't rounded forward. So through the entire lift, but especially through the up phase, you wanna make sure you are staring at that spot on the floor. So a common mistake I see is if people are doing barbell deadlifts in front of the mirror, they wanna look up and watch themselves in the mirror, but putting your neck in that position actually makes it harder to keep your spine neutral. Okay, now let's talk about the 2 different types of grips you can put on the bar. So there is a double overhand grip and then a mixed grip. A double overhand grip is both wrists are facing towards your body. This is great for beginners. If you're just starting out with a barbell deadlift, a double overhand grip is the one you want to go with. As you get more advanced and you start to lift heavier, you can switch to a mixed grip. However, there are a few disadvantages to a mixed grip. You can put an uneven strain on your shoulders and your biceps, and you might possibly be compensating in certain areas based on the grip you are choosing. Okay, so now that we're all set up, we're getting ready to lift the bar. One of the very, very most important things, if you take anything away from this video today, is I want you to remember this one thing: body weight in your heels. Again, if you're wearing a cushiony shoe that has more support in the heel and it's pushing your foot, you're not gonna be able to drive those heels as hard into the ground, and it's almost forcing your body weight forward into your toes. When you're setting up for the deadlift, you should be able to keep your weight in your heels and should be able to wiggle your toes. That's how much of your body weight is back in those heels. As you're lifting the bar up, you want to imagine you're actually pushing your heels down into the ground as hard as you can. That's where you're really gonna feel the hamstrings and the glutes activating to pull that bar up off the floor, and that's where you're gonna get your power from. So we've pulled the bar to our shins, we've got our grip set, our weight is in our heels. Right before you lift, you want to contract your core muscles, squeeze your glutes, and you want to pull your shoulders away from your ears, which is going to activate your lats, and you can pop your chest out a little bit. So you are pulling your shoulders away from your ears, popping your chest out, squeeze your core, squeeze your glutes, and you are going to pull that bar up off the floor, making sure you keep your arms locked straight the entire time. Your arms should not be bending at all. Your legs and your core are doing all of the work. If you find you are bending your arms, I find most likely the weight is too light. If you're able to like pull it up, most likely the weight is just too light and you need to go heavier on your deadlift now that you know proper form. And then as you're pulling that bar up, you wanna be squeezing your glutes together as hard as you can, like you're squeezing a penny, to really use those muscles to pull the bar up. And then once you get to the top of the movement, you wanna be standing tall, shoulders back, glutes tight, core tight, like proud that you've completed that lift. Once you start lifting heavier and you really start to look for PRs and challenge yourself, that position right at the top when you've lifted a bar off the floor is the best feeling in the world. But you wanna make sure you're not hyperextending and leaning back. So you don't wanna be pulling the bar backwards, you just wanna be standing straight, core tight, elbows locked, power in your heels, glute squeeze. As you're lowering the bar back down, you wanna try and control that movement as well. So you're also using your core and posterior chain muscles to lower that bar back to the ground. Again, once you get into heavier lifts and you're looking at 1 RMs, you might have to drop the bar when you get to the top, that's totally fine. But if you're doing a 6 to 8 or 8 to 10 rep range deadlift, you wanna be controlling the bar on the way down as well. So there you go. Those are all the things you wanna watch for when you're performing a barbell deadlift. But if you're not ready to play around with the barbell yet, feel free to play around with the kettlebell, and all of the exact same form tips pretty much stay in play. So as you're stepping up to the kettlebell, you're gonna have 1 foot on either side of the kettlebell. I always say to try and line your kettlebell up with the arch of your foot, so it's nice and tucked in, nice and close to your body. Same thing, you're gonna go a double overhand grip. You're gonna bend down just like with the barbell. You're gonna keep a neutral spine. You're gonna look 2 to 3 meters in front of you. Right before you lift, you are gonna brace your core, squeeze your glutes, lock those elbows straight, drive your heels into the ground, and stand up nice and strong and control the weight on the way down again. So a kettlebell deadlift is a great way to learn proper form before you move into the barbell deadlift. But I would say once you are able to deadlift with a 70-pound kettlebell comfortably for 6 to 8, 8 to 10 reps, you're ready to move on to the barbell. You could put a 10-pound plate on either side of the barbell, and that's 65 pounds. So you will most likely be able to lift that if you're able to get up to a 70-pound kettlebell comfortably. So there you guys go. That's the conventional deadlift. Now we're gonna move on to a sumo deadlift. Mostly all of the form tips stay in play, but when you're doing a sumo deadlift, you are gonna hit more of your hamstrings. You're still gonna hit your glutes, you're gonna hit your inner thighs a bit more, and it's just a little bit different foot positioning. So when you are stepping up to the bar with a sumo deadlift, you wanna get your heels wider than hip width. I like to use the edge of the plate as to where my toe positioning is. So I always try and point my toes towards the end of the plate, and that seems to be a great foot positioning. You might have to play around with the foot positioning of a sumo deadlift initially to really feel what works best for you. But when we're looking at our grip, again, start with the double overhand grip, and as you start to lift heavier, you can move into a mixed grip if you feel comfortable, or you can stick with your overhand grip. You are still going to step up to the bar, make sure the bar is pulled nice and close to your shins. Right before you lift, you are pulling that bar to your shins. You are going to brace your core, make sure you have tension in your glutes and hamstrings. You are going to drive your heels into the ground. You're looking 2 or 3 meters ahead of you. Make sure you have that neutral spine, lock your elbows straight, and pull the bar from the ground. So the exact same form cues as in the conventional deadlift, we just have a little bit different foot positioning. And the exact same goes for the kettlebell. Just like the conventional kettlebell deadlift, you are gonna place the kettlebell right between your feet. Try and line them up with about your arch of your foot. Make sure it's nice and tucked into your body. Right before you lift, we are bracing our core. We're getting tension in our glutes. We are looking 2 to 3 meters in front of you. Neutral spine. Lock those elbows straight, drive your heels into the ground, and pull that weight from the floor. And again, we are controlling the weight on the way down. So there you go, guys. That is the most simple, basic form cues. Again, I could go into more detail about all the things I talked about, but I just wanted to give you a general overview. And I just want you to remember it takes time and it takes practice to really get this movement down. So if you are a beginner, do not expect to be perfect. Tomorrow, when you go to the gym and do deadlifts, do not expect to perfect this movement. So again, if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a like. And now for my special bonus for watching this video all the way to the end and for taking the time to educate yourself to make sure you are doing these exercises properly at the gym, because you can do deadlifts all day, but if you're not doing them with proper form, you're not gonna get any results, you're not gonna get stronger, and you're only probably gonna end up with injury. I have an 8-week strength training program for the gym. I have a dumbbell only strength training program and a 2-phase 8-week strength training program that you can follow through my app with full workouts, nutrition information, all of the things to help you learn how to strength train at the gym. An 8-week program to follow that will get you stronger. I will show you how to do progressive overload, how to continue to challenge yourself. For watching this video today, I'm gonna give you my 8-week program for $50 off. So use this discount code, $50 off my 8-week program, because you watched this video today. It's super easy to follow along. I have 3-day and 4-day split options. Click the link in the description below to go sign up for that program and start really making the most out of every trip to the gym. Having a training program is the most important aspect if you really want to see results. Doing random workouts every time you go to the gym, you're never going to know if you're getting stronger longer. So again, check that out. Thanks again for watching, guys, and happy deadlifting.